The Crosse area is infamous for its huge amount of mayflies that come from the river, usually with the biggest hatch right around the 4th of July.
But as we're nearing August, you may have noticed there hasn't been that huge emergence that we're used to. News 8's Madeline O'Neill can tell us more about what we might expect from the bugs still yet this year.
Martha and Mike, I spoke with a local expert on mayflies today, and he has seen scattered hatches around the area. But he's still keeping his eyes open for the big, what he calls system-wide emergence we're accustomed to every year. And although it's a bit later in the year than we typically see that big hatch, we're not out of the woods yet. Riverside Park is calm on this mid-July afternoon. Maybe a little too calm.
It's been a little bit slow from what I would expect in a typical year.
If you're really paying attention, you may notice a few less visitors than usual this summer.
Typically we have them around the 4th of July, plus or minus a week to 10 days.
A few tens,
if not hundreds of millions.
So many mayflies that they show up on the National Weather Service's radar.
It's not designed necessarily to pick up insects, but it does a pretty good job in our area, I guess. And so we'll see for maybe 20 minutes or so that surge of bugs coming off the river.
This year,
we've seen some on there. I don't know how big. We certainly haven't seen the big one yet, I guess, this year.
But meteorologists don't predict the hatches. That's fishery biologist Mark Steingraber's job.
I was just looking back at my records for some years going back to 2013. And we had some very large emergences locally around July 19, 20, 21, 22. So that puts us right on schedule. In fact, if you look at my model here,
he says if his model's correct, that big hatch could come any day now.
Within the next week.
It's not obvious why the bugs seem to be taking their time this year, but weather conditions can play a role.
Despite our abnormally warm air temperatures, water temperatures are a little slower to trend. Apparent growth and development has been slower this year.
Only time will tell if we'll still see a large number of our winged friends yet this summer.
We still have another couple of weeks for prime mayfly emergence.
The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service encourages anyone who notices mayflies to let them know. And that can be done either online or at the website at the bottom of your screen. You can even send in a paper report. Steingraber says a lot can be learned from these public reports, and they help with projects like one he's working on now, which is collaborating to help restore the Green Bay area's mayfly population.
Thanks, Madeline. You may have heard that a large mayfly hatch is actually a sign of a healthy river and ecological system, and that is true.
Steingraber says it's too early to tell if there's any reason for concern, and trends show there's still plenty of the bugs along the Mississippi River.